What if you could spot the next hot neighborhood before prices go through the roof? Imagine buying in early and watching your home's value climb fast while everyone else is saying, wow, I wish I had bought there earlier. Buying in the right neighborhood at the right time can mean huge appreciation in value. Whether you're looking for your forever home or you're just looking for something to invest in, knowing what to watch for can give you a serious edge. Most people only notice the neighborhood after the prices have spiked. But if you know the signs, you can get in early, and that's how I help my buyers build wealth. And these are the exact same things I look for when I'm buying my next home or my next investment. So in this video, I am going to share with you the key indicators to look for in up and coming neighborhoods, and even some hidden clues most people miss. We'll talk about economic growth, local development, lifestyle shifts, and even some hidden clues that most people miss. By the end, you'll know exactly what to look for so you can find opportunities before everybody else. The first big sign of an up and coming neighborhood is economic growth and new investment. When businesses start moving into an area, jobs are going to follow. When jobs show up, people need places to live, and that housing demand pushes prices up fast. You will also want to watch for big infrastructure projects. Things like new highways, expanded bus routes, and even a new transit stop. These changes can make neighborhoods easier to reach, which also means more growth. I'll give you an example. A few years back, there was an area in Gainesville that most people drove by without even giving it a second thought. It was an empty plot of land. All of a sudden, an emergency center went up. Then across the way, an apartment complex went in. Now they're expecting an Aldi, a gas station, and a daycare. Suddenly, jobs are starting to pop up, and many people are wanting to move to this area. Now we're seeing several new developments pop up, and home prices in this area are just climbing higher and higher. Town of Tioga, which is just around the corner, you can't find a house for underneath $550,000. That is what happens when money and investments flow into an area. It transforms the neighborhood and it boosts property values. So here's what to look for. New businesses opening, especially big name brands. Major employers moving in, and new highways and transportation projects in the works. These are some of the strongest clues that a new neighborhood is about to take off. The next sign of a hot neighborhood is real estate market trends. When a neighborhood is heating up, you will start to see homes selling faster and prices creeping up. It is your classic supply and demand story. More buyers are showing interest, but there's just not enough homes to go around. You may notice more young professionals and first-time home buyers moving in. They're usually the ones that spot potential early because they want affordability and homes in areas that are still growing. Quick story, I remember when one neighborhood in Gainesville started shifting a few years back, and that community is called Sunrise. At first, homes sat for months, and then suddenly I started noticing that homes disappeared and were snapped up very fast. The buyers loved the area because it's close to many employers, it's affordable, and there was a lot of change and new development and commercial development activity nearby. Within a year, the average home price changed by double digits, and this once sleepy neighborhood became one of the most competitive spots in town. So here's what you want to track. Days on market. If homes are starting to sell quicker in an area, that is your first clue. Price trends are next. You want to look for steady increases, not just a one-off. Next, look for who's moving in. If you start to see a lot of young buyers, that equals strong growth ahead. These little signs can tell you if you're standing in tomorrow's hotspot. If you're starting to think, wow, this is good to know, please hit the like and subscribe button. I share tips every week with buyers and investors to spot opportunities and avoid making mistakes. Now, I'm on a mission to hit 100,000 subscribers, and I would love for you to help me get there. All right. Let's move on, because the next sign you can spot just by walking around the neighborhood. The third sign of an up-and-coming neighborhood is local development and revitalization. When a city starts putting money into public spaces, like renovating parks, improving schools, or updating sidewalks, it usually means they're seeing growth. And in new construction and commercial projects, it's just a recipe for rising property values. Because when a neighborhood looks better and functions better, people want to live there. I remember one Gainesville neighborhood had an old rundown park. Hardly any kids went there, maybe just a couple to play basketball. The city invested into new playground equipment, landscaping, and lighting. Almost overnight, the families started spending time there again. I know I certainly enjoyed it. Soon after, we started noticing that builders were putting up new homes, and small businesses like a coffee shop and a plant shop soon followed. Within a couple years, home prices in this area started to climb faster than the city average. That is what revitalization looks like. It turns overlooked areas into places that people are excited to move into. So here's what to watch for. Renovations to parks, schools, or community centers. Signs of new construction, even if it's just a few new houses. Also, if you see that the vacant lots are now being sold and houses are being built on them, that's a good indicator. And look to see if commercial spaces are being updated or repurposed. These are indicators that I look for to know if a neighborhood is on the rise. The fourth sign that a neighborhood is up and coming is cultural and lifestyle shifts. When trendy restaurants, cafes, or entertainment spots start showing up in an area that used to be quiet, it's usually a big clue that the neighborhood is changing. People follow lifestyle. If there's a new coffee shop, a craft brewery, or a farmer's market nearby, young professionals and families start moving in, and property values rise with them. There's an area in Gainesville, used to be pretty low-key. There was just a few shops in there, really not much else to speak of. Then one year, a plant shop moved in. Soon after, there was a cute little shop that also served coffee, and they also have the best muffins and cookies. Suddenly, the place was packed every weekend, and it was very difficult to get a parking spot to get my coffee and my cookies and bring my plant home. Then shortly after, restaurants started popping up. Within 2 years, the vibe of the neighborhood had shifted. Now there are signs for zoning meetings because new developers want to move in. Many buyers who once skipped this area are now looking around and going, you know what, maybe this is the place to be. And of course, house prices are on the rise in there. So here's what you want to keep an eye out for. New restaurants or coffee shops where there weren't any before. Local entertainment spots like art galleries or music venues, and rising rent prices because renters are usually the first wave of demand. If you see lifestyle upgrades popping up, chances are good that the neighborhood is on an upswing. If you're starting to see how these signs can help you spot the next up and coming neighborhood, and you want to take my free 90-minute home buying seminar, make sure you click on the link in the description below. I am going to walk you through the home buying process and make sure that I answer all your questions by the end. The fifth sign of an up and coming neighborhood, these are the hidden clues that most people miss. These are the little details that don't make headlines but can tell you that big changes are coming. Most buyers overlook them, but investors, they know. There's a part of Gainesville that did not look like much at first glance. Old homes, old shops, not a lot going on. But here's what I spotted. A few old businesses rebranded with fresh signs and fresh logos. Stores and offices that once sat empty were now full of new businesses. And this is the big one. Local investors were quietly buying up the homes to either 1, flip them, or 2, rehab and hold them as rental properties. Within a couple years, the entire area had completely transformed. Rents went up, there were more people moving in, and home values jumped. These small changes were the early signs that most people missed, but not me. We bought our house for $175,000 in 2018. By the end of the first year, its value was over $300,000, and now today, the home prices in that area are over $500,000. So here's what you watch for. Real estate investors buying and flipping or holding and renting in that area. Look for old businesses that are getting a makeover. Look to see if the empty offices are getting new tenants. Then look for community events or farmers markets popping up. Now I'm going to throw a bonus in here for you. How do you know if an area is declining? You're going to know that when you see like the big box stores are leaving, and you're going to start to see that everything is going to more of a mom and pop. So let's say McDonald's has left and you got mom and dad's chicken sandwich shop, or the gas stations are like a no-brand gas station. So when you start seeing more mom and pop, you're going to know that that is the decline of the area, and you might want to consider moving too. So if this video helped you, I hope that you like and subscribe. And if you want to know more about home buying or investment buying, make sure you sign up for the free class that I'm going to have later on this month. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.